Well, Dr. I thought I would give my thoughts, my further thoughts on yesterday's horrendous incident in Liverpool. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments on Facebook, a lot of different people talking about, giving different opinions. Some people saying that that the 53-year-old male that was arrested yesterday was the driver of the vehicle. Other people are saying he wasn't. I don't quite know what to believe at the moment regarding this situation because so many people are kind of saying different things. I feel like some people are trying to start up trouble again. I don't know. Um, I mean, I just think that people need to stop with the kind of pointless speculation at this time at the moment because this isn't really a time where people should be speculating or anything like that. People should be thinking about those that were injured yesterday, four of which we know are still in a critical condition. We know that one child was severely injured in that incident yesterday. And is one of those people that um, is still critically ill at the moment in hospital, which is very very sad. I think the reason I'm saying that I don't want like that people need to stop the speculation is because I'm worried that all of the speculation and everything could start up trouble again. And I don't want there to be, I don't think anyone wants there to be any trouble, or wants there to be a repeat of all of, the trouble there was last year with the riots and everything, which is why I guess people have been asked not to speculate because that is what it can lead to. We've all seen, what speculation and misinformation can lead to and the trouble that can cause. Um, which is why, obviously, I mean, the thing that's pissing me off at the moment is people are not thinking about about those that were affected by yesterday's atrocity and those that are seriously injured. Lady! Lady! Like, they're not thinking about, the people that were seriously injured. They're more, people are more focused on the drive of the vehicle, and the race of the driver, was he white, British, or that kind of thing. You know, I don't think I honestly, some people say, oh, there's a cover up, this, that, and the other. You see that every time. I think we all know why they were so. This is what people are pissed off about. People are so pissed off about the fact that they were so quick to release the race and nationality of the driver. They were so quick to confirm that it was a 53-year-old white British male that had been arrested and detained, and that he was from the Liverpool area. We all know why they did that, obviously, so that people couldn't start speculating or anything like that, and couldn't start, posting any speculation that would have led to trouble brewing and things kicking off again. But I think at the moment I fear that things could kick off again. I think that is what I'm fearful of, right now, and I would want. Obviously, I wouldn't want things to kick off again, which is why I'm kind of urging people not to speculate on anything, not to, post any information that may or may not be true, just allow the police to get on with the investigation and do what they need to do. Don't speculate on anything, and don't post any speculation or misinformation that could potentially lead to things kicking off again. Like, don't post anything that could lead to serious trouble. You know, I don't think people should really be thinking, I mean, as I said, I don't know what to believe right now because like you've got some people saying, well, the guy that was arrested, the 53-year-old, was the driver. Some people are saying he wasn't. It's like who do you believe? Was the 53-year-old arrested? Was he the driver? Wasn't he the driver? I don't know. I really don't know what to believe at the moment because so many people are speculating on this. So many people are, looking at this and thinking, was he the driver? Wasn't he the driver? I just don't know. It's hard to speculate. It's hard. Well, it's not about speculating, but it's hard to know what to believe because so many people are saying different things. So obviously, I think the only thing that we can fully established, that has been fully established, and that is very, very clear, and has been very, very clear from the get go, is that this was a deliberate intentional act. That's one thing that there is no doubt in anyone's mind about that this was intentional, it was a deliberate act. This wasn't an act of road rage, this wasn't, as I've even seen some people blaming those that were like throwing stuff at the windows, trying to smash the windows and things like that, saying that they caused it, because they're saying that what people have been saying is these people were throwing stuff at the car, trying to smash the windows. Maybe the driver has panicked and just gone. I don't think it had anything to do with the driver panicking. I don't think it was road rage. I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was deliberate. I think it was intentional. I think he had that intention of wanting to hurt people and or wanting to seriously injure or potentially even kill people. I don't know. But, it's frightening that, that something like this has happened. You know, obviously, that I think that what they were saying, they believe that something a lot of people that listen to, well, how did he gain access to that area where the crowds were? They're saying that they think he was tailgating an ambulance. I mean, that's a bit bizarre. It's like, why would you tailgate an ambulance to try and gain access to an area where there's going to be crowds of people? Like, that baffles me. You know, I feel like there's some, it's like there's, I do feel like there's more to this. I definitely think there's more to this, but as I said, I just don't know what to believe at the moment because you've got some people saying, well, the driver of the vehicle, obviously the 53-year-old that was arrested, is the driver of the vehicle. Other people are saying, no, he wasn't the driver of the vehicle. He was someone that apparently tried to stop the driver. Um, I've seen the pictures of who everyone is saying was allegedly the driver of the vehicle. And if it is the driver of the vehicle, then he certainly wasn't 53, and he's definitely younger than that. But it's hard to say. It's hard to know what to think right now. Like, I don't know what to believe. Like, so many people are saying different things. I think a lot of people have that opinion that the driver, that the 53-year-old arrested yesterday and detained by police, wasn't actually the driver of the vehicle, but other people have said he was the driver of the vehicle. The police, I think the media, that the media outlets and whatnot have said that yes, he was the driver of the vehicle. But then people say, "Oh, we can't trust the media." The media never tells the truth. Well, maybe they are actually telling the truth about this. Maybe that 53-year-old that was arrested yesterday and detained by police yesterday was indeed the driver of the vehicle. I don't know. As I said, I really don't know what to believe right now because there's so much different information. All I care about is that the people that were injured in yesterday's incident make a full recovery, and that the people that are critically ill go on to make a good recovery from their injuries that they sustained. Hopefully they won't be too greatly impacted by what happened yesterday. Um, I don't care about the race of the driver. I don't care about whether how old the driver was. To me, none of that's relevant. To me, I know that people are angry about the fact that that they were so quick to release the information about the driver being white British. Well, people need to stop. People need to fucking stop and think about why they actually did that. People need to think about the events that happened last year with the riots and everything. That was all due to speculation and flipping misinformation that was put out there on the internet. That is what caused that. And they don't want to repeat, no one wants to repeat of that. The police don't want to repeat of that. None of us did. Because the riots and everything that happened last year were truly awful and horrific. And we don't want to see a repeat of that. Which is why they put that information, they were so quick to put that information out there, was so that people wouldn't speculate on speculate or whatever. put information out there on the internet that wasn't true. I would say it might be a wise idea for people to stop showing the videos of Har ramming into people, because no one, I mean, even, no one really needs to watch that. I mean, I have seen the video of the Har being driven into people, and there is no doubt in my mind that it was a deliberate intentional act. I think anyone who looks at that video would look at that and go, that was deliberate, that was intentional. You'd have to be a moron to look at that video and go, well, that was accidental. The driver didn't mean to do that. He definitely did mean to do that. It was definitely an intentional, deliberate act from that driver. There have been no doubt in that. There have been seriously no doubt in that this was intentional. But as I said, people just need to stop with the speculation and all of that at the moment. But this is not a time for people to be speculating. This is a time for people to be thinking about those who were up in yesterday's incident and were injured yesterday. And praying that those people that are critically ill in hospital actually do make a recovery and actually do get better. Because we just don't know, and it could be, there is that chance that one or two of those people could, succumb to their injuries. You just don't know. Obviously, we hope that there won't be any. I mean, there's been no fatalities confirmed as of time of recording, and I hope there won't be any fatalities. In this incident, but there is a chance that that could still be, because we know that 4 people are in hospital and very critically ill at the moment, and when they're critically ill, there is that chance it could still go either way. So you've got to, let's just hope that those people that are critically ill, including the child who was severely injured yesterday, make that full recovery and do recover completely 100% from their injuries. Let's not focus on unnecessary speculation or anything like that. Let's have some respect for the people who were affected by the horrific and horrendous events that happened yesterday. That's what it's about. It's about having respect for them. And the most respectful thing to do would be to not speculate on anything, and would be to allow the police officers to do what they need to do. There is not a single need for any speculation at this point. There's no need whatsoever for people to be speculating on anything right now. That has to be said. There is just no need for that. And I hate to say it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. You've got to be careful. They've got to be careful to not to post any speculation which could potentially lead to things hitting off of them. No one wants that. No one wants things hitting off of them like they did last year. So try not to post anything on there that could lead to problems like that. That's all I'm saying. So I want to do a little video on that this afternoon. I hope you enjoyed this one. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.